Hey guys, what's up? This is ZMH Tech here, and today we're going to finish the last part of our Blender series. And the Blender series is things that I thought you guys need to know in Blender that I couldn't really find one video that was covering them. So we've gone over so far how to bake textures, how to export them to Unity, and how to render an animation or a image, how to speed up the renderings, optimization of the render. So today, the last part's going to be video editing. Most people don't know you can do video editing in Blender. I've used Blender on largedogvrstudio.com to create the high dive animations, but I also, on these videos, edit them using Blender. So right now I have a little test video for you guys right here set up. So basically, this is a little video I just shot a moment ago. So I'm just showing you guys my website, the LDVRS, largedogvrstudio.com. And I click, and then I'm like, I didn't mean to re-click. I just wanted to show you guys basically the leaderboards. And then I think I go back to the home page. Okay, so that's a little test video that we're going to be editing right now. Now, if we go back to here, obviously I was already on the home page, so I don't know why I re-clicked that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to edit that video. Now this was just a little sample video I set up, and I did all this. But basically that's what we are going to do. So first thing is you're going to want to run Blender. So then over here where these little boxes are next to default, click it, go to video editing. Now you got your video editing panel. Now one more thing we need to do to set this up properly is we're going to click on cycles. And then over here, we are going to click on information. Or not information, properties. Okay. And then we will set these up eventually at the very end. So right now we need to import that movie. So we're going to go add movie. And then what do we get? We get a video and an audio, basically film strip, basically. So these one contains the audio, one contains the video. So we can zoom in and out with the scroll not scroll window, but the scroll on the mouse. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. And then basically this is our little marker, and you can see up here the video is actually playing. So it looks just like a regular video editing. Now this is not the most user-friendly video editing tool, obviously, but it's very powerful in how it can edit videos, and it's free. So and it can do whatever resolution, whatever frames a second, and it's completely free. So that's why I like using it. It's powerful. All right, so I've seen people that have like a lot of video series on how to edit videos. We're not going to do that. It's just going to be a one video, so we're not going to cover everything, like all the advanced features. But we're basically going to show you basically what I do to edit the videos that you guys are watching. So basically what I do is I get it open, get the video open. You can get a video player. This is a WebM, so it will load up in Chrome or Firefox. So it's always good to have a copy of the video open. So basically, I scroll along to find the part where I want to edit. So let's see where I go after that. Okay, so about right here probably is where I want to edit. It's about 9 seconds. So now we'll try and find that in here. It's going to be somewhere about the 9-second mark. That's about right there. So then what you're going to do is you get your marker on the part that you want it cut, and you're going to press Control K. Or no, excuse me, sorry. You're going to just press K. So what K does is, it, as you can see, it now split that video. So then basically what I like to do next is basically I like to highlight both of these. Hold down Control and right click both of these. And then you're going to press G on the keyboard. And as you can see, I'm now moving it. So I like to give it a little bit of room so I can work on these two. And then we'll join them back at the end. So now, basically, if we take another look, there I am clicking the refresh, and then I go up there and I'm clicking on the leaderboard. So we probably want to edit it about right there. That looks where we left off right here. So now we're going to press K again on the keyboard. Oh, we messed up. We didn't have the audio. We can press Control Z to undo. Make sure that both of them are highlighted when you cut. And then press K to cut. And then we're going to move this out a little bit. Okay, so now this is the part of the video that we basically don't want, this part right here. So what we're going to do is just right click on both of them, hold down Control while you're right clicking, and then we can just press the delete key, and then we want to hit yes or OK. So now we've got our video, but we need to join these back together. So it's really simple. We're just going to click on both of these again, hold down Control, right click on both of these, press, actually, what I like to do now is I like to zoom in, and then you're going to press G, and now you see how this is 285 and 463. These are basically the frames that these videos are on. So basically you want these to basically match up consecutively. So this 461 number really needs to be 286, because if over there on the left, if that ends at 285, we don't want to skip in our video. So 286, this should start now. So that's why I suggest zooming in, zoom in with the scroll wheel, and because then you'll have a little bit more fine control basically. And then as you can see, once we hit 286, then you're going to left click. And now we've just joined these back together basically. So now if we take a look, you can see that we go over the home page of largedogvrstudio.com. And then we go right up to the leaderboard and we click on the leaderboard. So we cut out that error of clicking on the home page when we were already on the home page. So that's a very basic video editing. That's basically really all I do to the videos that I upload to my channel. So basically now we're done, and we want to export this back. So now what we can do is, I don't know if this really matters or not, but if you have a GPU, it's obviously better. I think it does matter actually. And then basically, if you want this to go faster, just hit Keep UI, because you don't need the image editor to pop up. Always put this at 100. That would have actually been helpful to put at the very beginning. Now here's your resolution. This original video was shot in 1080p, 1920 by 1080. So there's no need to change this. But I mean, you can change this to whatever you want. If you're shooting 4K or 8K video, then change it to appropriate. If you're shooting a video, I wouldn't re-output it in a higher video quality. That really doesn't make any sense. It's just going to be a bigger video with no real quality gains. Custom, just leave it alone. It automatically will detect what these are running at. But if you need to change them, change them. And then basically, another part that I would do now, if you've watched the first part, I think, I don't know. It'll either be the first part or the third part of the video series on Blender. I cover everything on this panel for rendering, but this is a little bit different since we're doing a video. So now, where are we going to put it? Excuse me. So I figure a good place to put it would be right here where I have all the videos. And then we'll call it and then we went MP4. Even though the original was in a WebM, I think MP4 is more universal, so I usually switch them to MP4. And then basically now what we're going to do is you have the option of doing a bunch of images or a video. Now, if you've watched the video series where I talk about rendering animations, I told you to always do it in a PNG because your animations can take days, and if the power goes off or something, you would just lose the PNG that you were working on. If you picked a movie, I mean, you would lose the whole thing. So I told you to do PNG. Plus, you have more control over at the very end, since you have all the images. You have control over how you can make the videos. You can make them in different sizes and stuff. Different resolutions and stuff, and it would save down. You wouldn't have to process it a bunch of times. So, but for a video that's like really quick, it's perfectly fine to pick a video format. I usually pick a video format because it just doesn't make any sense to do it with PNG. It's too much hassle, basically, for a short little video. So RGBA is fine. Actually, it doesn't even matter, I don't think, when we switch it. So we're going to pick H.264. That's better than MPEG. So you're going to pick H.264. Red, obviously, we want color, not black and white. Then we're going to click on encoding down here. And then we want to make sure that this says MPEG 4 and that this says H.264. And then down here, this is basically half of your frame rate. So if our frame rate was like 29, then we'll just put 14. The bit rate, that's obviously going to be, you're going to have to play around with that. But what I find is that 10,000 works for a 1080p video. Obviously, if it's 4K, you're going to have to do way more bit rate. The rest I kind of leave alone. And then for the codec, for the audio, just pick MP3. I mean, it doesn't need to be WAV or FLAC. You're not going to tell any difference. And then for this, I think it goes up all the way to 384. So we just do max. And don't need any of that. None of that. None of those. We can change this since we're using a GPU. If I talked about this in my first how to the complete guide to rendering in Blender. Talked about if you're using a CPU, use 64. If you're using a GPU, use 256. It will increase your render times. And then we don't need anything else. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on animate. It treats it as an animation. So you don't want to click on render. You want to click on animate. As you can see up here, it's running through, and you can see it down here too. Oh, you know what? That was actually good because I made a mistake on that. Now, the very last thing we need to do, I was wondering why it's going so fast. The very last thing we need to do is to talk about the frames. Now, if you've done animations, you know that you have to set a frame count. Now, see how this is basically where the frames, you see that indentation? But we need it all the way over here. So basically, use your marker to go all the way to the end. And, I don't need that part where I close out everything. So we can just set it up about, I guess, about right here. So this is 840. So your start's going to be 1, and you want your end to be 840. Okay, so see, you need to make sure up here your start is 1 and your end is 840. Okay, so now we can basically run it again. And now it's doing all the frames. So basically, then we're just gonna wait. It's not taking that long, so I'm not gonna pause the video. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched the other parts of Blender, I suggest you do that. We're not going to create like how to draw things, but we covered how to export textures to Unity. We covered how to bake textures. We covered the complete rendering guide, basically how to speed up your renders. On some of them, I was getting like a 40% boost when I was doing the high dive animations for Large Dog VR Studio. So make sure you check out those videos. They are on ZMH Tech. Okay, so it says it's done. So now I've opened okay, so now let's watch the edited video, and let's see if it cut out that extra click on the logo, the Large Dog VR Studio. And you guys can see up at the top, it's MP4. So yep, there we go. So it didn't, as you guys can see, it didn't click on him twice. And this is the updated .mp4 video. So there you go. That is how very basically how you edit videos in Blender. So that completes our video series for right now in Blender. I'm not saying we're not going to have another one, but for right now, those will be the videos that we do on Blender, basically. So that's it for now, and thank you for watching.